Now, Audi is well known for its delivery of mass market cars. We see plenty of them on the street, but not so much this car. This is the Audi SQ2 Vorsprung edition. The SQ2 Vorsprung comes with a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It produces 300 brake horsepower and 400 Nm of torque. It's mated to a 7-speed gearbox. It delivers 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.9 seconds, and if you're interested, combined MPG is 33 miles to the gallon. It comes in at a weight of 1,600 kilos, and for the Vorsprung pack, you are paying £46,000 for the car. It's a quick car, there's no question about it. The Audi SQ2 is a quick car. I mean, ultimately, it's a Golf R or an S3 on stilts. And that makes it a very versatile car. And I think that's the bit that we really want to touch on a little bit in this video, is how versatile the SQ2 is. Now, the interesting thing for me, more than anything, is the way this thing looks. It's kind of a bit hit and miss, if you ask me, but I actually think it looks really good. And this specific car, I think, has a lot of funkiness to it. Because it is the Vorsprung edition, it looks a little bit loud, it looks a little bit more leery. It's in beautiful tango red. We do have the black pack installed on this car, and some very bold 19-inch wheels, which kind of contrast between white and silver, which I've never seen on an Audi SQ2 before. I had an Audi SQ2 prior, and it was a little understated. And the fact that it was understated made it feel a little meh to me, if I'm completely honest. But this car is loud, it's leery, it's a bit of me. Now, the best thing about the Audi SQ2, for me anyway, is it has all the characteristics that you get from a Golf R or an S3. Ultimately, it's like a T-Roc R from the VW group. But what it gives you a lot of versatility because you sit much higher. You can attack bumps a lot more aggressively. You don't have to worry about bottoming out. It gives you everything you need from a good car that you can drive all year round. It is, of course, 4-wheel drive. It is 300 brake horsepower, as I mentioned earlier on. It gives you everything. 5 doors, decent space in the rear, a good boot. And it's pretty rare. Not many people buy this, and there's probably a reason why not many people buy this, because everyone's buying S3s or Golf Rs, but this is a proposition. And it's nippy too. Now, its ride comfort as well is very, very nice, because it's got the adaptive suspension, so it has a nice bit of travel, and when you put it into comfort mode, it gives you a very nice compliant ride. The steering also becomes extremely light. It's a very good car just to drive around. However, throw it into dynamic mode and start to play around with the paddles, you get a very different kind of beast. And that is effectively one of the great things that I love about this car. It's got good grunt. You'd expect that from the engine that you find in that of the Golf R and the S3. It's tried and tested. It's tried and tested. And of course, the 7-speed dual clutch gearbox also does a great job at powering through the gears. Although I will say one thing that I do notice, it feels sometimes on the kick down, I felt quicker downshifts, let's put it that way. Sometimes it has to decide. It's like, oh, do you really want me to go that low in terms of gearing? But what really kind of blows me away as well is just the acceleration. If I slow it right down, I can't seem to get it to launch for some reason. Oh, here we go. I mean, that is extremely quick acceleration from what is ultimately a little compact SUV. And it's an important segment in the market and one that everybody has to tackle. It's one that everyone seems to be going after. But the SQ2 has been around for a while. This one, the 2022 Vorsprung model, has a little bit more finesse to it than the one that I drove. I think it just looks nice, and I think it looks really good. I'm enjoying driving this thing. If I stick it into honestly, the grip levels are incredible. I think before I touch on the comfort element, the grip levels, I think that's something else, because I talk about the fact that you get four-wheel drive and you can drive it in all seasons. And I think, again, that's really important, particularly here in the UK. Some people want a car that just does everything. Some of us want a weekend toy. Some of us just want pure aggression. They want rear-wheel drive. They want it to be leery. They want it to be fast. They don't really care about the practicality element of it. But this provides an awful lot of practicality, and it also provides an awful lot of comfort.
When it comes to interior, you'd expect nothing less from an Audi. The SQ2 here is no different. It's a very nice cabin, it's very nice interior, and with a Napa seat, it makes for a very comfortable ride. The seats, however, are not electrically adjustable. They are manual adjustment, bar the bolstering that you get on the side of the seats. Everything else is back to old school. The steering wheel is nice, it has a good feel to it, and whilst this interior hasn't really capitalised on the refresh all other cars have had, I actually quite like that because it gives the Audi SQ2 a little bit of a different look, because nowadays all Audis are starting to look extremely similar. At least in this car, you know you're driving something different. Things such as the virtual cockpit, which we know and love, make a really, really good immersive driving experience. As a whole, interior-wise, it's great. We even get a sunroof, and room in the back is pretty roomy for your passengers.
What more do you need for a day-to-day car? I think 300 horsepower is the sweet spot for a daily car. Four-wheel drive, covers all seasons. Yeah, it's good. I like it. I do like it. Sound, what would you expect? A 2022 car, it does sound a little bit muted, I guess, because, well, emissions regulations. The other thing that I probably want to touch on as well is just, I guess, character and, you know, does it have the excitement factor? I think this is one of those problems that the moment you go down the route and make a very clinical car, you start to eradicate some of its character and you start to eradicate some of its excitement. I think that's been found in cars like Golf R, S3. They are very, very good, and this is no different. They are clinical, but sometimes you do feel like you lack a little bit of excitement. But that's the compromise that you get from having an all-out, all-season, everyday weapon, because that's what this car is. I mean, in terms of kind of driving position, I really like it because I'm seated much higher than I would be in a normal car. You know, it still feels compact enough to throw around corners. The handling is very good, but I still get the luxuries and the amenities from a compact SUV. Slightly too quick there. It does pick up speed extremely quick. It does it very, very fast. But in terms of a summary, you know, do I like the car? Yes, I do like the car. I think it's different. I think it's cool. I think it's still a little bit confused in what it's trying to achieve. But again, it gives you everything that you need. Now, the Vorsprung model, as mentioned earlier on, is pricey. This is £46,000, and a lot of that is due to the amount of optional extras that you get on the car. Now, you can get all of this car, obviously minus a lot of the options, for a lot less. So if you just opted for a standard SQ2, you'll still get the practicality element, you'll still get the performance, but you won't get, I guess, the look and a lot of the extras. So if it's really something you're after and the price of this is too much to stomach, then opt for a standard SQ2 or a Golf R, an S3, a T-Roc R. They're all basically the same, your choice.